After 2 weeks of marathon impeachment hearings, did the Democrats make their case against US President Donald Trump? Hello, I'm Anand Naidu, and this is The Heat. Throughout U.S. history, Congress has impeached just two American presidents, Andrew Johnson in 1868 and Bill Clinton in 1998. Now, Democrats are moving forward with an impeachment inquiry against U.S. President Donald Trump. Analysts say Congress may charge Trump with bribery, among other crimes, when he allegedly withheld military aid to Ukraine in exchange for information on a political opponent. CGTN's Nathan King begins our coverage with this report.
7 long days of public hearings, 12 witnesses, and despite their different roles, all in varying degrees confirmed that the White House pressured incoming Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to announce an investigation into US President Trump's political rival, Joe Biden, and his son Hunter. The central question, was there a quid pro quo in the form of withholding an important White House visit and later nearly $400 million of military aid to Ukraine? The US ambassador to the European Union said yes.
You've testified that the White House meeting that President Zelensky desperately wanted, and that was very important to President Zelensky, was it not?
Absolutely.
You've testified that that meeting was conditioned, was a quid pro quo for what the president wanted, these two investigations. Is that right?
Correct.
And that everybody knew it?
Correct.
Some witnesses said they were unaware that the White House was trying to hijack US-Ukraine policy in a bid to pressure Kyiv to dig up dirt on a domestic political rival. But all agreed that there was a two-track foreign policy, an unofficial one pushed by the US president's personal lawyer, Rudolph Giuliani, and an official one running through the US embassy in Kyiv.
But it struck me yesterday when you put up on the screen Ambassador Sondland's emails and who was on these emails, and he said, these are the people who need to know, that he was absolutely right, because he was being involved in a domestic political errand. And we were being involved in national security foreign policy, and those two things had just diverged.
It has indeed blown up. Many analysts expect Democrats to formally accuse the president of abuse of power, bribery, and that he sought foreign interference in a US election from a strategically important ally locked in a conflict with long-standing adversary Russia. But Republicans in the hearings stuck by their president, using a variety of arguments, not all based on fact. They essentially dismissed the impeachment inquiry as just another attempt to overturn the 2016 election, some even calling it a coup.
What you've seen in this room over the past 2 weeks is a show trial. The planned result of 3 years of political operations and dirty tricks. Campaigns waged against this president. And like any good show trial, the verdict was decided before the trial ever began.
This impeachment inquiry is happening in a highly polarized political environment where no matter what witnesses said under oath, both political parties tried to spin it to their advantage. The Republicans even using debunked conspiracy theories to do it. And even though these last 2 weeks have seen compelling testimony in more normal political times could spell the end of a presidency, not one of Trump's political allies have actually deserted him. In fact, if anything, they've become more vocal in their defense of a president they once held at arm's length. And as this impeachment process moves forward, and these are the political realities, no matter what the facts.
Nathan, as you say, the political process moves forward. What's next in the impeachment process?
Well, that's really up to the Democrats to decide because, of course, they control these impeachment inquiries. They are thinking of calling more witnesses. And I'm just breaking news now. A landmark court case which actually compels White House counsel Don McGahn to testify to Congress has just come out basically saying he has to testify, that could actually have lots of implications on others who may now feel themselves compelled to testify, like former National Security Advisor John Bolton. But they don't want this process to slow down too much. So really now they've got to use the Thanksgiving break that they're on this week to think about whether drawing articles of impeachment up and moving to the Judiciary Committee, then a House vote, and then, of course, it becomes a trial in the U.S. Senate. And that's where the political math really, really matters, because as we all know, you're impeached in the House, but then there's a trial to remove a president in the Senate. You need a 2/3 majority of the 100 senators. That's 67. And basically, that would require 20 Republican senators to flip over to the Democrat side. Highly unlikely in this polarized political environment, although you cannot rule it out.
Thanks, Nathan. That's CGTN's White House correspondent Nathan King reporting from our newsroom.